Hey guys, welcome to our Tuesday lesson for ELA Distance Learning Unit 5 Week 2. So this week's going to be compare and contrast, and I have to break them up into 15-minute segments. So what I'm going to do is set my alarm, and wherever we are in 15 minutes, I'll stop and then I'll upload a second YouTube video. They'll just be labeled day 1 because we're not going to get through all of it today, even with 2 different videos that I upload. So here's our starter, but here's what I want you to do. So I want you to go to your Google Waffle because you need to upload a new classroom for ELA. So I'll show you, and you can press pause and go ahead and do this. Go to your Google Waffle right here, and then you go to your Google Classroom. My Wi-Fi is really, really bad, so you're just going to have to bear with me, okay? I barely could even upload this video. Okay, so here it is. It's purple. It's ELA. I have no students because I need you guys to go and add it like you always do. So you're going to go with the plus sign just like you added all the other classes, and you're going to put this code in. So go ahead and pause this and write this code down. You can do this before watching the video, so that way you have access to all the materials that I give you. So once you put that code in, you'll be in there. And then you can click on Leah Palmer posted a new material, U5W2, Unit 5, Week 2. Click on it, and again, my Wi-Fi is super slow, so it's not going to upload for a bit, but I'm just going to show you what is there for you. So when you click on it, you're going to have vocabulary. That's going to give you all your worksheets like we do in class. So I'm going to click on vocabulary first. And again, it's going to take a while to load, but I'm not going to show you all of the pages because it will take forever to load one. So you'll have this that we'll be doing together today. So if you have a printer, you can go ahead and print this out. If not, you can just write vocabulary on a piece of paper, and then as we do it, you can go number 1 and then do it with me. Number 2 and do it with me. Okay? And then this is a graphic organizer. When we read the story this week, that's what you'll be filling out with your graphic organizer. And the story we're doing is called The Day the Rolettes Got Their Moxie Back. Okay, so then keep going. You will be reading this on your own, this page and this page. And then you're going to go here and you're going to fill out number 1 through 4 on a piece of paper. So if you have a printer, you can print this, but if you don't, you can just label on your paper number 1 and then just write the answer 2, 3, 4. And then we're not going to get to this yet. So if you print that out, just hold off on it. You can do it if you want to. You can do everything. You know how to do this stuff because we've done it all year. But just go ahead. But we're not going to get to that far. Okay, so then when you go back, all these weird numbers, 367, 277, 0F7, CF4, those are just the story that we're going to read. So if I click on it, super slow Wi-Fi, so just be patient with me. It'll just be the story. And you don't need to read the story yet. We're going to read that next time we're together. But if you want to get a jump start and you want to read it one time before and then read it with us again, that's great. But it's just spinning. So all it is a story, which you'll see in our other place. Okay, so that's what I want you to do is go there, add this classroom. That's pretty important. And then when we come back, we're going to go ahead and start our lesson. So let's start with this picture. And it says, through thick and thin. And our weekly concept is better together. So obviously, we work better, we work together. And then I had it highlighted here. There's our essential question. And it says, how do shared experiences help people adapt to change? So if you wanted to, you could go ahead and write that on a piece of paper. How do shared experiences help people to adapt to change? And you can press pause right now, so that you have that, and we can come back and answer that. You can answer it. If you think you know the answer right now, you can answer it, or you can kind of watch our intro and then come back and answer it. But again, press pause because I'm going to be going fast because I only have 15-minute increments. So you press pause as much as you need to, okay? So if you look at these people, they're dressed kind of like back in the olden days. You can tell it's from a long time ago, and the photo's black and white. And if you look right here, on the wall, it says free soup. So the time that this was the Great Depression. And you probably heard of the Great Depression. The Great Depression began in 1929 and then it ended around 1940. During that time, many people lost their jobs and their homes. Thousands of children had to live in orphanages, sometimes because their families could not afford to care for them. So sometimes because their parents didn't have enough money to feed them and clothe them, that they would give them away to these orphanages. And then the other time is because their parents would have to leave them so that their parents could go find work to make money. So when possible, the children were placed in foster homes. Can you imagine how scary that would be if your parents couldn't afford to feed you, that they would just dump you in a foster home? So that lasted a long time, 1929 to 1940. Okay, so then what I want to talk to is, what do you think that those people in line, what do you think they need? Well, yeah, they probably need food because the hint is free soup on the wall. And this is a soup kitchen. And soup kitchens, basically, during difficult times, people often need to be supportive. Supportive is one of our vocabulary words this week. But during these difficult times, people often need to be supportive of each other. And then they need to provide or help with encouragement. So this photograph of the soup kitchen line, during the Great Depression, many people did not have money to buy food. So they had to rely, that's a vocabulary word this week, rely or depend on. They had to rely or depend on the generosity of others. Groups that supplied food were supportive of the unemployed. Supportive is one of our vocabulary words this week. People in lines like these may have felt lonely and afraid. So when you come back to our essential question, how do shared experiences help people to adapt to change? Well, perhaps sharing the experience with others made it easier to handle the hard times. Maybe by going through it with other people, it was easier to understand what they're going through because they had each other. And if you put this into perspective for today, we're all going through a shared experience. This has never happened. This pandemic has never happened. Well, not in our lifetime. And it's been a long time, probably since the Spanish flu. But we're all quarantined. We can't go anywhere. Everything's changed. We've had to adapt. So we've had to change our lifestyles, and they may never be the same. For example, when we go grocery shopping now, we have to wear masks. Okay, I don't know how long that will last, but that's something that we've had to adapt to change to. And then when, like our family, when we shop, we have antibacterial. We're constantly antibacterial our hands. We're constantly washing them with water. We're washing our hands so much now that they're so dry and like peely. We used to wash our hands, don't get me wrong, but never like now. So kind of going through these shared experiences together kind of helps us adapt and change. So we're going to go on to vocabulary, okay? And let me go ahead and change to black. We're going to do our 8 vocabulary words. Vocabulary. Here's what I'm going to say about this vocabulary. You press pause as you need to, but I do want you writing. I write, you write. This is the best way to memorize these words. Some are going to be easier than others, and others are going to be harder to grasp, but by writing them and seeing them will help, okay? So our first word is assume. If you assume something, you just suppose it's going to happen. Like, oh, I just assume I'm going to eat dinner tonight, because I always do. Just assume, suppose. So you could also look at it, to assume something is to take for granted. Yeah, you eat dinner every night, but do you just expect to? You just assume to? So to take for granted or suppose. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you a picture for assume. When you assume something, you take it for granted or suppose it is so. The picture we're going to see, the example is Caitlin could only assume the cat broke the flower pot. Why? Well, look at the cat. I would assume that the cat broke the flower pot too, because there's the cat looking guilty, and there's the flower pot broken. So I think it's safe to assume that the cat broke the flower pot. Okay, now let's go on to our next word, which is guarantee. You guys know this word. We're not going to spend too much crazy time on it because we all know what it means to guarantee. It means, I'm going to try a different color so it will stand out for you. It means to make sure or certain, or to make sure. Okay? I guarantee that it's going to rain when the clouds are dark like they were yesterday. Or I guarantee in the fall the leaves will come off of all of the trees. I can guarantee that. I'm certain of that, pretty certain. Okay, so now I'm going to show you. To guarantee is to make sure or certain of something. In the example we're going to see the dark clouds approaching, and you pretty much can guarantee that rain will come soon. If you guys, I don't know if you had rain and thunder like I did here in Robbins, but yesterday, super dark clouds and rolling thunder and big old rain droplets. So look at the sky here. I could pretty much assume with those gray skies, I could assume it would rain, but I also feel like I could guarantee, I'm certain, okay? Back to vocabulary. And we're going to go on to the third word, which is nominate. When you nominate someone, you want them to go and run against other people, say for like class president or something. You would nominate them because you're like, oh, they're the smartest one in the class. They should be class president. I want to nominate them. Okay, it doesn't mean that they won class president. It just means you chose for them to go in the running. So like Donald Trump's president, but before he was president, he had to be nominated to even be able to run for president. So nominate. To choose as a candidate as for an elected position. Now, when we go to the word nominate, if you nominate someone, you suggest or propose that the person be chosen, such as a candidate for office. In the example we're going to see, the team will nominate the best candidates to run for class president. So all of these guys were all the best candidates, and they're all nominated to run against each other. Because they were nominated, they can run for class president. Okay, and then our fourth word is, obviously, you guys know this one, so we're not going to go too deep on that. Obviously is like, basically it's easily seen. It's obvious. It's right in front of your face. Obviously. Go ahead and press pause if I'm going too fast, okay? Obviously. And then easily seen or understood manner. Obviously. If something is done obviously, it is easily seen or understood. So in the example we're going to see is that the hand-knitted scarf was obviously too long for Marta's little brother. Let's see this scarf. Oh yeah, it's obviously way too long. It's like all the way down the grass. When he walks, he's just going to be having a trail of a scarf. That scarf is obviously too long. Okay. And we're going on to word number 5. Let me see how much time I have. Nope, we're going to stop at word number 4. And when we come back, we're going to continue with word number 5, which word number 5 is going to be rely. So I'm going to go ahead and close this down, and then I'm going to upload the second part of day 1 to YouTube. So you're going to watch this link, and then you're going to continue on with the next one. Okay, see you soon.